Hello, and welcome to another episode of Time to Conquer. I am your host, Mia Paul, and each week I like to start us off by reminding you how grateful I am that you have chosen to spend some time with me again in your ear as we work through releasing the baggage of our past, accepting where we are now on our journey of transformation, and moving forward, taking control of our lives so we can start to live a life that we love. My friends, this is a really special day because we have now been together for almost 2 months. I can't believe how much ground and information and knowledge we have covered and I have shared over these last 9 episodes. But today is an important one because before we move forward, I feel like it is vital that we tackle a subject that is sometimes not easy, but absolutely important in our journey of transformation into the future. We in the past couple episodes have spoken about so many things, about the relationships around us, the circle we surround ourselves in, some inner reflections of who we are, where we want to go, and what work we're willing to do to get there. But one thing I consistently see come up on my one-on-one personal life coaching clients is this topic. And if I see it one-on-one, I know when I'm speaking to the masses here on this podcast, it is so important that we touch on this too. The thing is, when we as individuals, as humans, as parents, spouses, friends are part of our own personal transformation journey, it is easy, so easy to get caught up in the constant growth and evolution that needs to come with that journey. Now, don't get me wrong. It is so important to stay focused on the future, know your goals, know where you're going, and make sure you're consistently taking those steps forward in the right direction to get to the point to be able to achieve, crush, and move forward from those goals you set. However, you can hit all of the goals in the world, but if you don't master the topic we're going to talk about today, none of that will matter because you will not find joy and fulfillment from completion of those dreams, of those goals, of becoming the person you wanted to be. You did all of this work to become. If you can't handle making sure that you're taking the steps to focus on what we're going to talk about today. So before we get into it, I just wanted to remind you that everything I share is most of the time my personal opinion. I have years as a self-growth and personal development life coach. I have spoken to hundreds of people on this topic, but one of the reasons I believe I'm a good coach, and one of the reasons I believed it was important to start this podcast and get this message out on a grand scale was because I myself am always committed to growing, learning, and embracing the thoughts and teachings of those around me, especially those who have more experience, have been in this platform, have been in this self-development arena longer than I have. So my topic today that we are going to share about comes from the accumulation of all of the self-help, all of the personal development I did last week when I was struggling myself. You see, I was so caught up in the hamster wheel run that the last couple of months of my life has been that I wasn't finding joy and fulfillment and happiness where I was. I mean, I was happy, don't get me wrong. I wasn't miserable. Things were great in the sense of they were moving forward towards my family and my individual goals. However, I was checking off those boxes just to check them off. I was feeling like a zombie moving throughout my day, getting the things on my to-do list done, but not feeling that fulfillment and that joy by completing those days. Just like we talked about last episode, I was stuck, focused so much on where we as a family are going and where I as an individual want to go as a person, as a mother, as a spouse, that I forgot that I'm already so much farther today than I was years ago. I looked at my life on a day-to-day basis, forgetting that I had to give myself credit for all of the work I've put into the past. And that is something I see time and time again, consistently with my clients when we work through their problems, their issues, their roadblocks, and self-sabotage struggles. Today we're going to talk about making sure you are focused enough on the day-to-day journey that you can feel happiness now. Sometimes in the constant struggle of personal growth and change and transformation and evolution, we're always thinking about the future. But the thing is, we are right now living today. And without appreciating who we are right this second, we can't, one, give ourselves credit for all of the growth we've had from the past, and two, we can't continue to think about the future because we can't appreciate where we are right now. How are you going to grow if you don't acknowledge where your starting point is and where your middle point is and where all of the little checkpoints throughout your journey are, so you can ensure that you're moving in the right direction? We talked a lot about always making sure we are showing up as the right person. We are doing the inner work. We are making sure we're putting in the effort, the places that it needs to be, so we can feel accomplished and successful and proud of where we're going. But if you are listening to this, if you have connected with me in some way, if you are just trying to be a better person in general, I can guarantee with 100% certainty that at some point on this journey, you have struggled with the mental voice in your head telling you you're not worthy, you can't do it, the work isn't worth it, at some other time will be the time to make the change. The thing is, we need, as humans in general, especially as humans on a transformation journey, we need to know that one of the most important and most vital habits you can adopt today is to make sure you have made it a priority to be happy where you are now. Being happy where you are now does not mean that this is where you're going to be forever. Being happy where you are now does not mean you're not ready for bigger and better and you're not willing to work towards that. No. Being happy right now means you are not willing to postpone your happiness to some arbitrary date or time or situation in the future where then you'll be able to feel that smile creep across your face, and then you'll be able to feel your shoulders relax and be able to take a deep breath and appreciate where you are. Being happy right now means that you know that your health, your mindset, the person you are needs to be able to celebrate the small daily wins, the small habits, the small changes, to be able to see that growth towards those big goals. So often we tell ourselves, when I do this, XYZ, when I get here, when I accomplish this goal, when I, at this time, then I'll be happy. Especially as parents, sometimes we really get caught up in it in the day-to-day. If you are like me, and you have small children. I have 2 children under 10 years old, and sometimes I need to take a step back from the chaos in my family to remember that there was a time where all I dreamed about was being a mom. And even though when you dream about being a mom, you don't necessarily dream about the constantly dirty house and the screeching phase that your 2-year-old goes through, and the sassiness that sometimes comes out of your 7-year-old's mouth. You don't dream about that. But you do dream about being there and experiencing it and being part of their lives and forming and growing and molding these tiny little humans into hopefully eventually contributing adults to our society. And on the flip side of that, when you are in this stage of young children that I'm in, or any stage of parenting, you get so wrapped up in the day-to-day stress and the anxiety and the pressure that you don't remember that there will be a period where you will look back and say, oh, I wish I had that. I wish I had remembered to value that time more. I wish I would have embraced those little humans so much more, because now they're big humans and they're out of our house and they are living on their own, and I don't have that noise and those asks for cuddles and that love. In parenting, sometimes we say, it will, or other parents will sometimes say to us, it will be better when, oh, don't worry, this is just a chapter. It will get better. And that's true, especially when you're in it. You sometimes need to remind yourself, this will not be forever. This will not be forever. This will not be forever. But speak to any parent who has generations above you or has years and years of experience more to you. Something consistently that comes out of their mouths is, enjoy this now, because it won't be like this forever. And it's easy to see that example when it comes to childhood parenting. You know your kids are going to grow. You know you are going to grow. You know your life is going to change. You're going to be in a new chapter. Sometimes it's not so easy to see it on our own personal internal growth. A concept that I see come up a lot with my clients when we work together is the concept of weatherproofing. Now, I didn't come up with weatherproofing. I didn't come up with the idea of this or make the name of it myself. A Dr. George Pransky did. And when I started this episode, we talked about how I am always working to grow my own journey so I can help you grow on yours. And Dr. George Pransky is somebody I have really found myself immersed with his mindset in, because he has been in the self-help and self-development arena for like 40 years, so longer than I've been alive. He has also been a marriage counselor for, I think he said 25 years, so just about as long as I've been alive. And his perspective is so different than so many other, at least marriage counselors that I have learned from, looked up to, or taken advice from. He talks about weatherproofing as being always on the careful lookout for what needs to be fixed or repaired, finding the cracks and flaws in life and either trying to fix them or point them out to one another. So if you think about a house, you know how to weatherproof a house. You fix the cracks. You're always kind of looking around to make sure water can't come in your roof or maybe come up from the ground. But in Dr. George Pransky's arena, it is more of a marriage counseling, personal development, weatherproofing. If we are going around always looking for the things that can be fixed or changed or need to be improved in ourselves or in the people around us, especially our intimate partners, you become somebody who is always highly critical, negative, and looking for the worst. Now, don't get me wrong. Sometimes some constructive criticism is always good, whether it's internal or towards somebody else that you love and you're coming from a place of caring and patience and trying to help them grow. Absolutely. But if every time you're presented with a problem because you are looking for said problem, it is really hard to stay focused on the happiness, of the joy, of all of the things that are going right when you're only looking at the things that go wrong. The truth is, there's no better time to be happy with yourself than right now. Exactly, right now, today. Who you are is a accumulation of everything you've gone through. So if you are alive and you have ears and you are or eyes and are watching this or listening to this and consuming this media in some sort of way, you have survived something to get here today. Life is a roller coaster there's always going to be ups and downs. There's always going to be some smooth sailing and then some really rough waters. The faster you can acknowledge that and just embrace the inevitable, the happier you will become living through it. Happiness doesn't always mean there's no problems. Happiness doesn't mean perfection. Happiness doesn't mean not being willing to change or grow. Happiness means feeling satisfied where you are because you know you're showing up and doing your best. We've talked in multiple other episodes that sometimes your best is just being there. Sometimes your best is just not snapping at your significant other or not looking at yourself in the mirror and having some negative thing to say. Sometimes happiness is beaming from ear to ear and shouting from the rooftops how proud you are of an accomplishment you finally achieved or how loved you feel by your significant other. And sometimes happiness is right in the middle. Contentment can also be a place of happiness. What you are going through right now is making you into the person you are going to become. And what you have gone through in the past has made you who you are right now. Why do you feel the need to postpone that happiness to some date in the future, some time, some situation that you hope will come, but might not? Or maybe a situation you never even saw on your radar is on its way to you right now. And because you are waiting for a different situation, a different promotion, a different achievement of a goal, you won't even be receptive to the immense new opportunity on its way to you. My advice to you today, the tip I hope you take from our time together is, if there's one thing you can focus on right now, one thing you can control today, it is to make sure you are embracing this chapter and the next and the next and the next, whether they're chapters full of immense happiness, successes, achievement, or struggles and trauma and things you need to work through, baggage you need to release, growth that needs to happen. You need to remember, the more present you can be each day, the better your life will become. The more you can look for happiness each moment, the more grateful you will be in the end. All good things will snowball to change your perspective to see more good things. You are not on a journey to happiness. You are experiencing happiness now while on your journey. That is a profound mindset shift. That is a huge change that can happen internally in one day to help change all of your future days. It doesn't matter what you have been in the past. It doesn't really matter where you want to go in the future. What matters today is who you are, where your priority, effort, and time is spent, and how you look at your life as something that you are valued in, that you value yourself, and that you appreciate for all of the good and the bad combining into this one moment. I know happiness is a broad topic, and we could probably will go through more episodes touching on this subject. But as we shift from releasing the past and embracing the future, letting go of who we were and stepping into who we want to become, the bridge between those two will be appreciating who you are now. So you can thank the past, you can look towards the future, and you can know that you don't have to be perfect. It doesn't all have to be planned out. You don't have to sweat all of the small stuff because you are doing your best today, and you will continue to do your best every day forward. My friends, I love spending this time with you. I love planning these podcast episodes out. I love making sure that I'm bringing value to you. If you feel like you are ready to move forward on your own personal journey on a one-on-one basis, I have a gift for you. I am offering free 30-minute consultation calls for us to speak together on a one-on-one aspect so we can figure out if we would be a good team together to help you on your transformation journey. I need you just as much as you hopefully want me in your life. And I am so grateful for you tuning into this podcast again today. I hope you are subscribed. If you found some value from this episode or any of the other episodes, I would so appreciate you reaching out to me on here, on social media, booking a free consultation call with me, anything to let me know that I am on the right path and speaking the words you needed to hear. I am so grateful to be somebody in your inner circle, somebody that is trusted as a knowledgeable expert in the realm of self-improvement, self-development, evolution, and transformation. Thank you, my friends, from the bottom of my heart for tuning in with me this week, and I can't wait to continue this journey together. We will talk again soon. I hope you have a great day. Goodbye.